Hello GH fans, grab your snacks, silence those notifications, because Port Charles is basically a pressure cooker about to blow. We've got Sonny Corinthos quietly plotting murder in between holiday plans, Jason Morgan simmering with that ice-cold fury he does so well, Valentin Cassadine parachuting his way into fugitive status, and Jenz Sidwell holding receipts that could bury half the town. Oh, and while all that explodes, Willow's about to walk into court, Portia's about to get caught mid-mistake, and Anna Devane is chained up who knows where. Merry Christmas, right? This stretch of episodes feels like somebody took every kind of GH storyline, mob war, courtroom disaster, messy love triangle, Cassadine chaos, and hostage crisis, and blended it into one wild holiday special. Sonny and Laura are staring down blackmail that could ruin them both. Valentin's running from the law and somehow hiding out at Carly's house like that's a normal Tuesday. Meanwhile, poor Charlotte is stuck in the middle of adults using her as bait, again, and there's talk of arresting her just to lure Daddy Cassadine into the PCPD. And while all that's brewing, Jason is in caretaker mode with Britt Westbourne, protecting her, softening toward her, and trying to keep his head straight while Sidwell waves incriminating photos and a gun covered in Laura's DNA over Sonny's empire. Willow's prepping for trial with Alexis like it's her final exam, Drew is getting dragged into a whodunit with Kai Taylor, and Anna Devane is being held hostage in some unknown location, probably plotting her own escape and everyone else's downfall. So yeah, GH fans, this isn't just another week in Port Charles. This is the kind of run where alliances shift overnight. One bad decision in a hotel room or lab or courtroom could blow up entire families, and by Christmas, we might have a body, a conviction, and a broken relationship or two. Let's dig into exactly how all these threads are crossing, colliding, and setting us up for one of the messiest holiday seasons this show has seen in a long time. Let's start with a big bad problem hovering over Sonny and Laura, Jenz Sidwell's blackmail game. He's got photos, he's got a gun with Laura's DNA on it, and he has zero problem using all of it to pull the strings. Sonny's not used to being the one cornered, typically he's the one doing the cornering, so Sidwell has stepped into very dangerous territory. Spoilers hint that Sonny and Laura meet face to face to strategize, with Laura weighed down by guilt for dragging Sonny into this mess, and Sonny making that classic Corinthos promise, they'll figure it out. Translation? He's already quietly plotting to destroy every scrap of proof and, if necessary, Sidwell himself. While Sonny is trying to regain control, Jason's juggling his role as enforcer, fixer, and unexpected emotional support system. On one side, he's looking after Britt Westbourne, making sure she feels cared for after all her chaos, from drunken disasters to romantic missteps. The more time they spend together, the closer they get, and that old, stone-cold heart starts to thaw. But Jason doesn't get to enjoy quiet moments for long. Once he learns the full scope of Sidwell's blackmail, the gun, the photos, the setup involving Professor Henry Hank Dalton, his fury erupts. This isn't just about Sonny's territory, it's about Laura, one of the few people Jason respects without question. You can bet that rage is going to fuel everything he does next. Meanwhile, over in Cassadine Chaos Land, Valentin is out here pulling full-on action movie stunts. There's talk of an international transfer gone sideways, a prisoner breaking free mid-flight, and a parachute escape that sounds exactly like something Valentin would pull. Nathan fills Dante in that their fugitive is none other than Valentin himself, and suddenly every cop in Port Charles is worried he'll make a move on Charlotte. Lulu gets the news and absolutely flips, calling Charlotte and Rocco inside, locking doors, trying to build a fortress around her kids. But ADA Justine Turner may decide to flip the script and use Charlotte as bait, which leads right to a possible arrest for the lab break-in. If they haul Charlotte into the PCPD just to drag Valentin out of hiding, you know this is going to be one of those storylines that scars everyone involved. And while Valentin is dodging Brennan and the cops, he's also crashing at Carly's place. Brennan tells Joss about Valentin's escape, and Joss immediately worries that Carly is in the crosshairs again. She's not wrong. Carly's already stopped Valentin from killing Brennan once and got nearly killed herself thanks to a botched Brennan hit. Now she's hiding the same fugitive in her home. She pushes him to leave before he turns her house into a crime scene, but Valentin wants to stay long enough to finish their revenge plan on Brennan. Carly's going to take a risky gamble, likely arranging a temporary hideout to protect herself, her secret alliance with Valentin, and that shared goal of taking Brennan down first. Over on the legal side, Willow Tait is prepping for trial with Alexis Davis. Alexis is in full tough love attorney mode, grilling Willow with practice questions, forcing her to face every possible angle the prosecution could use. Willow's hoping to walk out free and clean, but this is Port Charles, courtrooms are where dreams go to die. Ada Turner is also moving ahead with her own agenda, which includes that trap for Valentin via Charlotte. So we've got one woman gearing up to defend a client against the system, and another woman weaponizing the system to flush out a Cassadine. Then we slide straight into the messy personal drama. Nina catches Portia and Isaiah in what looks like a very intimate moment, possibly a full-on make-out session, and that sets off alarm bells. Remember, Portia's history with secrets and paternity is already shaky at best. Nina, who has been burned by lies more times than she can count, might put the pieces together and suspect another father mystery is brewing. If she decides Curtis needs to know there's even a hint of doubt about his place in Portia's life or Trina's, this could blow up an entire family again. Elsewhere in town, we've got Michael planning something romantic for Jacinda and sending an SOS to Christina for backup. Christina might help him set up the perfect surprise, giving us one of the few bright spots in this chaotic canvas. Drew, meanwhile, is approached with a surprising offer, likely Kai Taylor's pitch to team up and find the real shooter in that congressman case. Kai wants to dig into the truth, even if it means pretending he's still loyal to his boss. That pulls Drew into a darker conspiracy, one that might intersect with Sidwell's schemes. Anna Devane, held hostage somewhere, is quietly waiting for her chance to fight back. Brooklyn is drowning in guilt over Dante and Gio being at odds, venting to Ned, while Lucas and Marco are trying to enjoy some romance but keep ending up talking about Carly's drama. Molly's sitting on a secret after seeing Cody kiss Britt at the Brown Dog Bar, a misunderstanding, sure, but gossip like that doesn't stay buried on this show. And hanging over everything is the promise of Christmas in Port Charles, complete with potential Jason and Britt mistletoe moments, holiday family gatherings, and Sidwell's threats poisoning the eggnog. Let's talk about Jenz Sidwell for a minute, because this guy is not your average mid-tier GH villain. He's the kind who thinks 3 steps ahead, stockpiles proof, and genuinely believes he can hold someone like Sonny Corinthos on a leash. He's not just chasing money, he's chasing power. He gets off on the leverage, the idea that Sonny and Laura have to answer to him. But that arrogance is exactly what might get him killed. We've seen this before, remember when other blackmailers thought they had Sonny cornered, only to end up in the ground or vanished. Sidwell has crossed over from problem to fatal liability, and he's too smug to realize he just painted a target on his own back. Sonny, on the other hand, is in his classic I'm calm but I'm also considering murder mode. His code doesn't say never kill. It says kill only when necessary. And Sidwell is inching his way right into that necessary column. Sonny's also dealing with something he hates, loss of control. He's used to dictating the rules, not having a gun with Laura's DNA shoved in his face. Protecting Laura becomes personal, because she's one of the few people who stood by him as both mayor and mobster. When Sonny tells her he's going to fix it, that's not a soft reassurance, that's a declaration of war. Behind the scenes, he's almost certainly planning to destroy the proof, track Sidwell's stash, and line up a scenario where this man disappears and nobody can ever tie the threads back to them. Valentin lives in that moral grey zone where he can be a devoted father and also casually threaten someone's life in the same breath. Right now, his entire world is Charlotte. The minute he hears the cops might use her as bait, his survival instinct kicks into overdrive. This is a man who literally jumped out of a plane to escape custody. On the emotional side, he's deeply aware that he's hurt Charlotte before with his lies and schemes. The idea of her being dragged into the system because of him? That's the one thing that will pierce his armor. Add Brennan hunting him, Sidwell stirring the pot, and Lulu trying to blockade Charlotte from him, and you've got a father who could do something truly drastic, either turn himself in or double down on revenge. Carly, meanwhile, is doing that thing she always does, convincing herself she's done with the mob life while actively partnering with dangerous men. She tells herself she's protecting her family, her business, her independence. But the reality is, Carly gravitates toward chaos. Her alliance with Valentin is classic Carly, messy, risky, and strangely logical in her world. Valentin offers power, intel, and a shared enemy in Brennan. Carly's gambling that she can help Valentin stay one step ahead of Brennan and walk away clean. GH fans, we know how that usually goes. Whenever Carly thinks she's the one controlling the danger ends up sitting on her couch eating her snacks. Jason and Britt are a study in opposites that somehow make sense. Jason is quiet strength, loyalty, and lethal efficiency. Britt is chaos, vulnerability, and sharp humor layered over deep wounds. Having Jason look after her, especially after humiliations and heartbreak, gives Britt something she's never really had: consistent, unflinching protectiveness. Jason doesn't judge her, he just shows up. But he's also torn. His loyalty to Sonny and Laura is pulling him straight into Sidwell's mess, and there's only so long he can keep Britt shielded from that fallout. Under the surface, you can feel it, he's catching feelings, she's letting her guard down, and the odds of them getting a peaceful holiday together are hilariously low. On the legal and family side, Willow is trying to be brave, but every step closer to trial hits her anxiety hard. Her history with loss, betrayal, and trauma means this isn't just legal trouble, it's a test of everything she's rebuilt. Alexis, still trying to prove she can be the lawyer she once was, throws herself into Willow's case like it's a redemption arc. Alexis is done being the cautionary tale, she wants to be the one who uses her sharp mind and experience to actually save someone this time. Over in Portia's orbit, the guilt is practically radiating off her. If she's in that intimate moment with Isaiah when Nina sees them, it says everything about how shaky her relationship is underneath the polished surface. Portia always tells herself she's acting out of love, keeping secrets to protect people, but those secrets keep dragging her back into the same pattern: lies, revelations, and people walking away. Nina is the town's unofficial human lie detector with a hair-trigger reaction to secrets. After everything she's endured, including being lied to about her own child, she is hypersensitive to any hint of paternity or betrayal. So when she sees Portia and Isaiah in a compromising position, she's not just seeing cheating. She's seeing another blueprint for heartbreak and deception. Whether she chooses to keep that to herself or blow it all up by telling Curtis, that decision will say everything about where Nina is in her growth arc. Is she still the woman who detonates lives when she's angry, or is she learning to tread carefully? GH fans, history suggests the answer may not be subtle. Now let's talk about where this could all go, because the puzzle pieces are stacked for some major twists. First up, Charlotte's potential arrest. If ADA Turner really goes through with this strategy, hauling Charlotte into the PCPD for that lab break-in, it could backfire in huge ways. Valentin might rush in ready to bargain his own freedom for hers, but he also might set a counter trap. This man is not above walking into the station with a plan to flip Sidwell, Brennan, or even one of the cops. Fans are already wondering if this could lead to a storyline where Valentin sacrifices himself, only to work some long con from the inside to bring down the bigger villains. Jenz Sidwell's future is flashing in neon lights that say whodunit. Sonny's clearly heading toward a place where eliminating him becomes the only option. But GH doesn't waste a villain like this on a simple exit. If Sidwell ends up dead, imagine the suspect list: Sonny, Laura, Jason, Valentin, Drew, maybe even Brennan himself. Everyone he's manipulated would have motive. Fans could easily see GH turning Sidwell's fall into a full-blown murder mystery, with that gun and those photos resurfacing in unexpected places. The real question is, does Sidwell have a secret stash somewhere else, in a safe deposit box or on a dead man switch server, that keeps his leverage alive even after he's gone? Over in the courtroom, Willow's trial is primed for maximum chaos. Her best-case scenario is Alexis running circles around the prosecution, exposing holes and walking her out free. But this is GH, and court scenes love a last-minute twist. Evidence could be tampered with, a witness could recant, or someone connected to Drew and Kai's investigation might rush in with bombshell intel about the real shooter right before the verdict. Fans can also see the darker version, Willow being found guilty, led away in handcuffs right before Christmas, setting up a long-term fight for justice and a desperate appeal. Either way, the emotional stakes are sky high, and you can practically feel that something is going to go very, very wrong before it gets better. Then there's Portia, Isaiah, and Nina. If Nina decides to tell Curtis what she saw, plus her suspicion about another father possibility, this could trigger yet another round of who's really Trina's dad speculation, even if the truth has supposedly been settled. Fans suspect the writers might be tempted to reopen that door or at least let Curtis spiral into doubt again. Imagine that blowing up during a holiday gathering, with Portia denying, Nina standing by her truth, Curtis walking out, and Trina feeling like her entire life keeps getting used as a storyline. Combine that with Anna's hostage situation, which might tie back into Sidwell, Brennan, or Hank, and we could get a major rescue mission where multiple storylines collide. Jason and Britt's future feels like the quiet bomb waiting to go off. Spoilers hint at possible Christmas moments, maybe a kiss, maybe a confession, maybe Britt revealing something deeply personal. Fans remember her past health scares and heartbreaks, and there's always this ominous sense that Britt never gets to have nice things without a cost. Jason being pulled deeper into Sonny's war with Sidwell threatens whatever fragile happiness they're building. A romantic holiday scene between them could be beautiful and also serve as setup for tragedy, separation, or a major sacrifice later. And don't forget the smaller threads weaving through all of this. Michael and Jacinda's romance could turn into a surprise engagement or a big family reveal, maybe planned with Christina's help, only to be overshadowed by Corinthos drama. Brooklyn's determination to fix things between Dante and Gio could explode if she pushes too hard and dredges up old wounds. Molly's secret about Cody and Britt's bar kiss might get blurted out at the worst possible moment, fueling misunderstandings just when people most need clarity. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Sonny and Laura will be trying to act like they're enjoying Christmas lights and family dinners while silently waiting for Sidwell's next move, or his last one. So, GH fans, here's where we're left. Sonny's quietly planning to turn Jenz Sidwell from blackmailer to corpse, Laura's carrying the weight of a gun and a secret, Jason is stuck between love and loyalty, Valentin is one move away from either surrender or total war, and Charlotte may be the bait that snaps the trap shut on everyone. Willow's trial is looming like a storm cloud, Portia's secrets are one eyewitness away from disaster, and Anna Devane is out there somewhere, waiting for her moment to strike back. The question is, who's going to make the first irreparable move? Will Sonny actually cross that final line with Sidwell and spark a murder mystery that rocks Port Charles? Will Valentin sacrifice his freedom for Charlotte, or will he outmaneuver everyone like only a Cassadine can? Is Willow walking out of that courtroom free, or are we heading into a heartbreaking holiday cliffhanger? And when Nina decides what to do with what she saw between Portia and Isaiah, will she expose the truth or create a new lie that nobody can walk back from? You tell me, GH fans, who's really in control of this board right now? Sonny, Sidwell, Valentin, or someone we're not even suspecting yet? Drop your theories, your wild predictions, and your wishlist twists, because if this is where we're starting in December, you just know part 2 of this mess is going to be even bigger, darker, and way more explosive.